Good afternoon. I'm very excited to talk to you today. I wasn't sure what I was going to talk to you about because I'd not had a lot of questions from you guys. So I thought I would talk to you about financial abundance, and I figured who in the world doesn't want more money? So let me just check I'm on silent here because I don't want to be pinging in your ears. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I will tell you is a little bit about me. So my name's Georgina. I use EFT, which is the emotional freedom technique. You might be familiar with the tapping solution and the Ortners, the lovely Ortners. You may also be familiar with, it's usually called tapping now, it's kind of been rebranded, but originally the emotional freedom technique, and it uses tapping on acupressure points to release any energetic disturbances in the body. So it might all sound a little bit woo-woo, and I am a little bit woo-woo, I'll admit to that, but I also put a lot of emphasis on the what we call psychological reversals in this work. So that's more the psychological side of things. What exactly is happening when we think we want to create something in our life, or we want to attract more of something in our life, but for some reason we seem to stay stuck right where we are or push those things away. So whether it be love or weight loss or whatever it might be, we think we want to lose weight, we think we want to find the person of our dreams, but for some reason our behaviours and our attitude and our energetic vibration, woo-woo, I know, but it all plays a part in either attracting or pushing away the things that we think that we want. A couple of weeks ago I did a level 3 advanced EFT training for some of my lovely practitioners, and one of the things that we talked about was money. I realised when I was talking to them that when I spoke about money, I asked one of them a question, you know, if you're sitting there in that chair right now, where is money? So if you're sitting there and you think about money, where do you feel it? Where do you see it? And I realised that for me, when I thought about money, I saw money kind of up above me. It was something that was really high up, something I couldn't quite reach. And that was really interesting to me. So I thought, aha, that's something to tap on. So at the end of this live stream, we're going to do a bit of tapping on that. And you can tap along with that and work on your money stuff too. Another question that I think is interesting to think about when we look at why we might not be creating financial abundance and lots of money flowing quite easily into our life is that subconsciously we're holding beliefs about what rich people, if you like, what rich people are like, and what successful and financially abundant people are like, what they look like, how they dress, how they feel when we're in a room with them. If money was a person, what would they look like? So take a moment now to have a little think about that. If you're watching the replay, you can even pause this video, grab a notepad and a pen, which is always handy, and just take a moment to really ponder that. When I think about money, I'll be quite honest with the first thing that pops into my head is I think about me having money specifically. I see me in a very sharp looking suit. I've done a lot of work on this on myself, so luckily my relationship with that person is a lot better than it used to be. But the first time I did this, I realised that when I thought about money as a person, it was this person who owned really big cars that were too big for the road and just like gas guzzlers. In my head, in my subconscious, I had decided that people with money and lots of financial abundance were wasteful and maybe arrogant, and I'd built them up to be these nasty creatures in my mind, when in fact people who have lots of money are just that, people who have lots of money. So once I started to get my head around that, that really helped me out. If money was a person, how would they act? So I want you to want to know what they would look like to you, but I also want to know how would they act? What is it about those actions and about their attitude and their behaviours that you like? And what is it that you don't like? Because let's remember that the subconscious, its number one game in life, its number one job really is to make sure that it keeps you safe. What it's looking for is patterns and messages and anything that's dangerous. It wants to keep you well away from all the dangerous stuff. So if your subconscious has decided that having money, in my case back then, would make me arrogant and like I just didn't care about anything and suddenly I was just really entitled, then there's no way my subconscious is going to let me become those things. So if it believes money equals arrogance and I don't want to become arrogant, it's not going to let me have money. It's going to do everything it can to energetically push away money. Another thing with this idea of if money were a person is when you look at them, how do you feel or think about them? So when you visualize that person in your mind's eye, just think about, what am I feeling towards them? Do I like them? Don't I like them? Have a little conversation with yourself. What are the things that are coming up in your head when you look at that person in your mind? If money was a person, when I look at them, how do they make me feel? How do they make you feel about yourself? Do you feel like they would like you? Or do you feel like they'd think, me, and they'd look down on you? Or maybe you look up to people with money and you don't think that you're worthy of that. So bear in mind, these are all things that are going to be totally subconscious. We all want more money and financial abundance in our life, but for some reason, some of us are pushing it away energetically. And it's all because of these subconscious patterns that we're holding on to. And these questions about if money was a person, what would they look like? How would I feel about them? What would I think about them? They're all going to give you insight into why it might be that your subconscious is going, no, I can't be that person. I can't be that person who has money. Okay, the next thing I want you to think about is if you suddenly had all the money that you wanted, you had as much financial abundance, it just flowed freely, you could have whatever you wanted, and the money just kept coming. If that happened to you, what would that look like for you? How would that affect your life? And again, take a real moment here to ponder, is it something that feels comfortable in your body when you think about having lots of money? The first thing that tends to happen when I ask people these questions in my EFT trainings, when I say, what would it be like to have lots of money? How would that feel? You know, the usual response is, oh, it'd be amazing. And then when we dig a bit deeper, we realise, oh, actually, sometimes we think with more money comes more responsibility. I have worked with people who have thought that if they attract more money into their life, that suddenly people are going to start coming out of the woodwork that just want them for their money. Some people, this was a big thing for me actually back in the day before tapping and when I started to really dig deep into my relationship with money, I would look at the idea that if I got lots of money and it came to me and it was flowing and it was all lovely, that somehow it would just leave. Somehow it felt as though someone was just going to take it away from me. So I would get it, I'd get comfortable with it, I'd be happy about having this money, and then suddenly, boom, poof, it would just be gone. Like somebody had the power to take my money from me. And when I did some tapping work and some visualization work with that, I got much deeper into where that kind of thing came from. And it can be something so simple. For me, it was about a memory I had when I was a teenager and I had some birthday money and I had seen this amazing blouse. When I think back now, yeah, it was pretty horrendous actually. It was like a purple, green and orange tie-dye shirt. So that was an interesting fashion phase for me. But I absolutely fell in love with this thing, and I told my mum it was only £20 and actually it was 45. So when I bought it, I felt like I had to lie about how much money I'd spent. And for some reason, to me, it felt like if I told her how much money I was spending, the money would get taken away from me. That never happened, by the way. The money never got taken away from me. But I had the feeling that it might get taken away, and that was so real to me that up until quite recently I was carrying a belief that if I made lots of money then somebody would just take it all away. So have a think about that. What would that look like? Also take a moment to dig deep into what would happen if you got all this money, you're all happy, everything's going great, yay, I've got loads of money, and then who does it affect? What happens to the relationships in your life? If you're suddenly what we might call financially free, so in my mind, my belief system around being financially free is that I would no longer have to worry about money. I would no longer be a source of stress in my life. And if that were to truly happen to me or to you, who might that affect? What relationships in your life would that affect? How would it affect your relationships with your family? How would it affect relationships with your partner, with if you have children, with your children, with friends? What dynamic would shift if you were suddenly to just have all the money that you thought you ever wanted? So again, take a real moment to pause this video if you're watching the replay and just really dig deep into that. Just even write it down on paper, like who would it affect, and just see what pops into your head. Even if it doesn't make sense when it first pops in, just go with it, because if there's one thing I've learned using EFT, it's that if you go with the first thing that pops into your head, that first instinct, then it's not going to lead you wrong. It's always going to take you somewhere that you need to do a bit of work. Right, what else have I got here? Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about, as I spoke about at the beginning of this session, was if you're sitting where you are right now or standing, or if you are so inclined, maybe you are even fully reclined, in which case I applaud you. So if you're lying down, sitting there, standing up, wherever you are, just be aware of where you are in the world right now, in this moment in your body. And think about the concept of where is money? So as I said, and this hasn't changed at all since I first realised it a few weeks ago, because I haven't done any direct tapping work on this. I was saving it for you guys. So I am here, and for me money is way up there. And the thing that I really notice about this idea that money is up here is that it feels really hard to get to. And I made a couple of notes before I started, which is what I'm glancing down at here. And what I wrote down was that it feels like lots of hard work, jumping up and down to try and grab this money. And it also feels quite undignified. It feels like a bit like I'm a bit dishevelled in my attempts to jump up and kind of grab at this money, and then occasionally one will flicker down and it's like, am I quick enough to catch it? Okay, so let's have a think about this. For you, if my money is up here, where's yours? If we can believe, just for the next few minutes, if you can extend your disbelief, if you like, and just really go with me here. If money was a thing, just an object, just an energy, just a flow, where would it be? Once you've got a sense of where it is, where you see it, where you feel it, maybe you hear it, maybe it's got a sound. When you've located it, how do you feel about where you are in relation to it? So for me, money was up here and it's hard work, jumping around. How does it make you feel about yourself? What does it make you think about yourself when you think about the fact that money is wherever you've put it? I also want you to get on board, just for the next few minutes, with the idea that money is never ending. It's an energy. It is abundant. There's more than enough to go round. If you took your £1 or $1 note to the bank and said, I would like my £1 worth of gold, please, they're not going to give it to you, okay? Because there's not enough gold, as far as I'm aware, to marry up with all the paper notes that are floating around. So it's just a concept. It's made up. I know, it's hard to get on board with, isn't it, to start with, but work with me here. So when we understand this, that money is just an energy and that it flows, it comes in, it goes out, just be aware of how that feels in your body, that idea. Am I on board with it? Am I not? Just be aware of that. And let's just do a little bit of tapping now. I'm going to tap for myself. If you pop on at any point during this live stream and I'm still here live, feel free to chip in with any bits and pieces about how money is for you, and I can make it more personal to you. Okay, so for now, because I am not getting any comments coming through, I'm just going to go for it and tap on my money stuff, and you can tap along and replace the words and the phrasing with what is personal to you. Okay, so if you're watching the replay, pause, go back, ask yourself those questions, and then come back and let's tap. So we're just going to start by tapping on the side of the hand. The next point is on the top of the head. The point after that is the inner eyebrow. We then have the side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, the chin, collarbone, under the arm, just where your bra would be if you were choosing to wear one. And we're going to use the wrist points today as well. Okay, so when you're ready, I just want you to join in with the tapping and just replace the wording so that it really fits your specific personal needs. Okay, so here we go. Just repeating after me, even though I have no idea what this weird tapping stuff is meant to do, I accept myself anyway. Even though I don't have enough money in my life, I'm okay and I accept myself anyway. Even though money is up here somewhere, I don't seem to have access to it right now. It feels like a lot of hard work to get money. Money doesn't grow on trees. All of these things that I've learned about money. Maybe I don't have to accept them as truths. And I accept myself anyway. All these ideas about money. I was never taught that money is just energy. All these money ideas. This money that lives up there. Sometimes it makes me feel desperate. Sometimes it's all I can think about. The money is green. For some reason I'm seeing the money as being green, so give it whatever colour comes to mind for you. The money is up above my head. And again, make that personal to you. Wherever the money is, you put your answer in there. Money feels like hard work. Take a deep breath for me. Check back in. If you're sitting or standing where you are right now, where is money? Okay, has it moved? Has it changed? Take a little bit of notice about what colour it might be. So as I said, for me it seems to be green. And I don't know whether that's because of that kind of slang term of green meaning money, but it's quite a bright green in my mind. It's kind of like a circle, it's almost like a circle of green glowing light coming from this money that lives up above my head. So again, we're just going to keep tapping on that, and now that I've got colour and things are changing, I'm hoping that you're noticing a similar kind of thing. So if you're there, where is money? If it had a colour, what would that be? How does it feel in your body when you think about the fact that you're sitting there and money is wherever you see it? And let's go. So even though, for me, money is up here. And it's got a green glow. I accept myself anyway. Even though money is something that's unattainable. It seems to be just out of my reach. But I'm okay and I accept myself anyway. Even though there's this green money up above my head. And I feel like I have to jump up and down to get it. Feels like really hard work. It feels like the pursuit of money is exhausting. I wish it could come easily. but I accept myself anyway. Okay, I'm going to give you the heads up. My money up here has changed colour now, so I'm going to add that colour in, and you do exactly the same. Keep aware. If the money's moving, then make sure you adjust what you're saying. If it's changing colour, then adjust what you're saying. Just be as free as you like and make it as specific to you as you can. Okay, so tapping on the top of the head. This lemony yellow money. It's up above my head. It feels like it's not solid anymore. This lemony yellow above my head. This pale yellow above my head. Looks a bit like custard. This pale yellow above my head. This money up above my head. Starting to feel a bit softer. So again, taking a nice deep breath, checking back in. If you're sitting where you are, where is money? Just make sure you're taking a nice deep breath now and just checking back in. So for me, it was up here and it was very solid and it was green, and now it's kind of a bit softer. It almost feels like, it looks like cotton wool. I don't know where this stuff comes from, people. If you've ever done any tapping on yourself or with me, you'll know that this stuff is very strange. So if you're you and you're sitting there, where is money? If it had a colour, what would that be? Also, if there's a texture, or if it looks or feels like anything, add that into the tapping. Here we go. Even though. I'm aware of money being above me. It looks like cotton wool. It looks like yellow, pink and white balls of cotton wool. It's much softer now. I accept myself anyway. Even though I feel like I'm surrounded by the cotton wool now, I accept myself anyway. Even though the money's feeling much softer now, feels like it's wrapping me up and protecting me, I accept myself anyway. This soft, fluffy money. Soft, fluffy money. This cotton wool. Being wrapped up in cotton wool. Being kept safe. Maybe it's safe to have money. Maybe having more money would make me feel safer. Maybe it doesn't have to be boring to be safe. That just came into my head, so I'm just putting it in there. Maybe having more money can be exciting. I would love more excitement in my life. I'd love more freedom in my life. I'd love for things to be easy. And having more money would help with that. Having lots of money doesn't make you a bad person. Having lots of money doesn't make you a good person. Money is just money. Maybe I deserve to have more money. Maybe I am worthy of having more money. Another nice deep breath. If you've got any water, have a little sipperoo, because it can be quite dehydrating doing all this talking. And also when we're doing energetic work like this, it's almost like the cells are releasing all the toxins and all the crap we were holding on to, all the thoughts, all the energy, or the vibration that we were holding before. And as we release that and things start to change, you might find that you're feeling a little bit lightheaded now if you tapped along with me there. And all that happens is you need to hydrate, because you need to be flushing this stuff out of your system. You don't want to be holding on to it any longer. You've held on to all this money nonsense long enough. It's time to let it go. Let's flush it out. I want you peeing like racehorses, people. Okay, we've got 5 minutes left, so I just want to check back in. Make sure that if anyone's got any questions, please just jump in, let me know in the last 5 minutes. I have pinned a post above this if you're watching it live, which is, I believe, the 16th of October today. Oh, I think so. Which means that you have 24 hours to claim the offer. The offer is actually for my 10-day tapping challenge for weight loss, and I'm being very abundant, and I'm offering it to you for just £25 for the next 24 hours. So that's a saving of over 50%. I can't quite figure it out. I'm so bad at maths, even though I'm terrible at maths. So go ahead, check that out, have a little look. If you click the link in the post that's up above this video, then you'll see it takes you to a page where it's got all the information, everything you need to know, all the stuff about money back guarantees, all the FAQs, just everything you could possibly need to know about the 10-day tapping challenge is right behind that link. So just go click and find out more, and then should you choose to purchase it for £25, you've got 24 hours to do so. Feel free to share the offer with anyone that might be interested. It's just 10 days. I pop up in your inbox every day for 10 days. Yes. And I teach you how to use EFT tapping in your journey to conquer your struggles with food and your relationship with food. It's not just about weight loss, it's about how you feel about yourself in relation to food, and how you feel about food, how you feel about exercise. It's big, you know, it's only 10 days, but it covers a lot of ground, and if you do all the work in it, you will experience big changes in your life. Okay, so that's enough about that for now. You can check it out by just going up to that little pin post above me. As I say, feel free to share it. It's available for 24 hours and then poof, it's gone. So just in our last few minutes here, I just want to check back in with what we started with, which was talking about financial abundance. Use the techniques that I've shown you here today. Go back, watch the tapping portion of the video, go back to the beginning, listen to the questions, write down your answers. And when we go through all of this, just add those bits in. So, for example, when I asked you what money looked like as a person, if you thought money looked like a tramp, then you don't want to be someone who, I don't know, is homeless, or, you know, doesn't have a place to stay, or whatever it is that you're making money mean, just go back and do that. If money equals too much responsibility, then just do that, even though money is too much responsibility. You really can't go wrong with this stuff. Okay, so let's just do one last final round. I'm just going to check back in if I'm here. Then money doesn't feel like it's quite so much up here anymore. It's kind of more of an idea of just having it around. And when I check in with how I feel about having it around, yeah, kind of feel comfortable and okay. It still feels like it's outside of me though. It doesn't feel like it's quite, it's there, but it's not quite integrated with me yet. So I'm just going to do one more round and invite you to do the same, even though money's getting much closer to me now. Something still stops me from reaching out and grabbing it. Maybe I've still got some weird ideas about money. Maybe that's okay. I accept myself anyway. Even though money is all around me. And it feels like it's going to be easier now. I'm okay and I accept myself anyway. Even though, oh, just a little burp there, that means something's shifting. I warn you now, any burps, coughs, yawns, sneezes, any other bodily functions. It's all just energy moving, so it's a good sign. I should have said that earlier on in case you've been sitting there burping away thinking, what's happening to me? Sometimes people even get hiccups. So even though this money energy feels like milk, can't make this stuff up, I accept myself anyway. Even though this money energy feels much softer and cooler now, I'm okay and I accept myself anyway. This money energy, all this money, honey, this milk-like energy, this money energy, maybe I can choose to no longer push it away. Maybe I can choose to invite more money into my life. Maybe I can be excited about making more money. Maybe money doesn't have to be hard work. Just because I get more money doesn't mean that somebody else gets less. There's more than enough money to go round. Money is just energy. Maybe I can be open to the possibility that money flows to me freely. Just because I have more doesn't mean somebody goes without. If I have more money, I can help more people. It's okay to take care of yourself first. I choose to feel positive and excited about attracting more money. And I know that it's safe to attract more money. Okay, one last deep breath for me. Checking back in, seeing where money is and how you're feeling about it now. Okay, so that's the end of my half an hour with you today. I'll be back again next month with another half an hour tidbit for you. Feel free to sign up for my newsletter. If you go to my Facebook page, EFT, then you can, on the cover photo, you can just click there and it'll take you to a link where you can sign up so you can find out firsthand when I'm going to be live again. Thank you so much for the people that popped in and out. I did see you, but because I was busily beavering away and tapping, I didn't get a chance to say hello. So thank you to all of you who joined me today, whether it was for the whole stream or just whether you popped in to say hey. Thanks very much. I hope that you will watch the replay of this video and please share it with anybody who might need a wee bit of financial abundance in their life. Okay,